Hey everyone, this is AJ and today we're going to be shooting a short video advertisement using a smartphone. So I've been shooting short video advertisements for a while now for some small companies here in the Philippines, but I don't consider myself a pro. I just kind of do this on the side just because filmmaking is my biggest passion. So the other day I came across a video of Daniel Schiffer, and by the way, if you don't know Daniel Schiffer is, I suggest you go check him out. He's the one who inspired me to do this short advertisement videos in the first place. So in that video, he made an epic video advertisement using just his iPhone. And that gave me an idea, why not try it out? So late last year, I've made a couple of videos for a brewery here in the Philippines named Alias Wicked Ales and Spirits. Go check their page out. They sell awesome beers and they're all crafted here in the Philippines. I made a couple of videos for them, and one of them is Dark Vader. So I'm gonna try to not exactly recreate the video that I've made for them, but just apply some concepts that I applied on that video. So this is the first time that I'm going to shoot a video advertisement using my phone, and actually isn't the latest model of iPhone. This is the iPhone XS. So let's see, hopefully it works well. And to make things more interesting, we're going to be using some cheap lightings that I've bought online, so this will be a budget-friendly video as well. To give you an idea how much the lights that we're going to use in this video costs, in Lazada it's around 600 to 1,000 pesos. So if you're just starting out, I suggest you getting a couple of these bad boys. And we're going to use a cheap motorized turntable as well that I've also bought from Lazada. It ranges from around 500 to 1,000 pesos as well. Done. And for our backdrop, we're going to use some cheap cartulinas and an illustration board. Alright, so this is our setup. So we have two lights on the side. This will be the key light, and supposedly this will be a fill light. Alright, so this one failed terribly. Because of the limitations of the lights we're using, it's kind of hard to set the right exposure in the subject. It introduces a lot of noise and light bleeds on the background as well. So instead of using a black background, we're going to try to use a green one, and we'll just key out the subject in post. Okay guys, so the black background didn't work out as I was hoping to. So we're going to be using a green background instead, and we're going to try to key out the product here so we can replace it with a different one in the post. So as usual, so same as before, I'm just going to be using some cheap cartulinas that I've bought in a bookstore, and this is going to be our lighting setup. So one light will be positioned on the side and the other one is going to be pushed backwards. Now this is because we cannot adjust the brightness of these lights. This is the weakness of them. This is the major weakness of these cheap lights actually. Since we're just using a bulb, so we cannot adjust the lightings unless we put some more diffusions on it to make the lights more softer. But we're not going to do that right now. I think the lighting for this one is I'm kind of happy with this one already, so we're going to stick with this one. Alright, so for the camera settings, we're going to be using 4K, so it can give us the flexibility to punch in if we need to in the post. Now the iPhone XS doesn't have 60 frames per second in 4K. It can only go up to 30, so we're going to have to deal with that, and we'll just have to do something in the post. We need to lock focus here on the subject. Actually locks the focus and exposure as well. And we're gonna try to drag the exposure a little. I'm gonna drag it down a little because we don't want our subject to be blown out in the post. It's easier to fix a underexposed subject as compared to blown out subjects in the post. Alright, so let's go to the post and edit this one. I'm gonna be using Final Cut Pro 10, but of course you can use any editing software that you have. So I'm just gonna be using some basic tools, and I'm sure that almost all editing softwares have this as well. Alright, so first one, let's drag in the clips. So alright, and then just pick the best part that you can find. It doesn't have to be long, maybe around 2 seconds will do, 2 to 3 seconds. Alright, so I think this is good, and now apply the keyer effect, and that will completely remove the green background, and adjust the exposure. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just hiding this the turntable and the black set, the background, and yeah, I think I'm happy with this one. Alright, so I just pulled down the shadows on that one. Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna be using the same clip actually, and I'm just gonna highlight some of the things that are on the subject, and for this one I'm just gonna highlight the description just to make it different from the previous video that I did for this one. Alright, so just rotate this one, then scale it in. Alright, a little more I guess. Alright, so apply the keyer effect again to remove the background. Then I'm just gonna copy the settings from the previous clip and then paste it on this one, so we'll have an identical color. Alright, so I think this is good enough, but let's see if I can adjust something else. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna slow it down to 50%. So as you can see, it's slowed down, but it's stuttering, but because we used 30 frames per second for this one. So here's what we're going to do. Alright, so go to this one, go to video quality, then select optical flow. It's just gonna add additional frames, or it's going to copy some of the frames here to make it a little smoother. Alright, so let's try to play it again. Alright, so I think that's good enough. Okay, now for the last clip, I'm gonna try to use this one. This is going to be a little tricky because I think I had a different exposure for this one, and it's kind of far away from the camera, so I'm just gonna need to punch it in. Now this is the beauty of shooting in 4K. You can punch it in for like around 50% or more, and you're still gonna have a good quality. So again, I just pasted the previous settings on the first clip, and this is what we have. So scale it in. Right, so I'm gonna adjust the shadows a little more. So I'm just gonna try to hide out the turntable. We can still see a little of those the fragments of the turntable, but we can mask it out if we want to. But for this video, I just want to keep it simple, so we're not gonna do any masking on this one. So we'll just have to deal with this. Alright, so we're done with the color grading, and we already selected all the clips that I wanted to put in. And then I'm gonna apply some Ken Burns effect on this one. So what Ken Burns effect do is it slowly zooms in the subject. Now I'm just going to apply this to the first clip, and then apply it on the third clip as well. Now it looks pretty good already, but we need to spice things up to make it more interesting. We're gonna need some overlays. Now for overlays, I know there are a lot of website subscriptions where we can get stock footages or overlays, but I know they're not cheap. It's kind of costly. And if you're just starting out, you can try this website that I found that offers free overlays and stock footages. It's called videasy.com. You can see the link on the description below. And these are the things that I've downloaded on that website. So I have the snow effect here and the smoke effect. So let's apply this one. So for the snow effect, I'm just going to put it underneath the subject or the main clip. Let's play it so it looks nicer already. Now let's apply the smoke effect. Right, so now let's just apply the smoke effect. Then adjust, scale it so it can cover the whole video. And then adjust the opacity so just we can see the subject. Alright, so around 31%. I think that's fine. Let's check it out. Alright, so it's looking great already. Alright, so to finish things up, let's just add the logo of the company. It's alias Wicked Ales in Spirit. Okay, so lastly, let's just put some music, some sound effects, and we're done. Alright, so here's the final video. Alright, so let's compare this video to the previous one that I did. So to answer the question if we can use our smartphones to do some video advertisements for some clients, then I would say probably yes. Now it depends on the situation. If we have a great lighting, then probably we can use our smartphones. But of course there are some limitations with our smartphone cameras. One thing is the depth. So if we want to achieve the shallow depth of field or the bokeh, it's gonna be harder for our phones to achieve that one. And another is the picture quality, of course. Now the sensor sizes on our smartphone cameras are relatively small as compared to DSLRs, and that could affect, of course, the picture quality. Alright, so that ends our video, and please do let me know what do you think about this one by going to the comment section. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.